Every time I speak to cruisers, I hear the same thing. Cruise lines just aren't as good as they used to be, and the feeling that standards are slipping. So I decided to dig deeper, and I analysed hundreds of reviews and ratings from Cruise Critic, Trustpilot and other major consumer review sites. The results were eye-opening. Over 2/3 of lines saw cruiser satisfaction drop over the last 6 months, but 6 lines stand out for all the wrong reasons. Welcome aboard. I'm Gary Bembridge, and I will reveal which 6 once great lines have fallen the most and why, from the least decline to the worst decline. I promise some of these will surprise you. They certainly did me. Now, I focused on 21 lines that account for 90% of cruise passengers every year, only excluded small niche, expedition and ultra luxury lines. So let's start with the line that had the least decline but still had a decline of around 10%, and that's Princess Cruises. While that doesn't sound huge, it's their lowest ratings for years. Digging into the reviews, the same key things kept coming up. First, issues with their older ships. Cruisers say they're feeling dated, with many saying things like, "This ship needs to be refitted or retired." These are pulling down the ratings. Next, the divided opinion of their latest class of ships, Sun and Star Princess, is affecting ratings too. Some of these, like me, find these megaships too big. They don't like the layout and they find the decor not princess enough. Food is another mixed bag and having a drag on their ratings. Personally, I think Princess has upped its food, and on both cruises this year, I saw big improvements from the ones I went on a few years back. But I saw many comments on food lacking in quality, taste, and about repetitive menus. Service is another recurring theme. While crew are still widely praised as friendly, many say they seemed stretched thinner. I think this could be a result of these new bigger ships with many more guests, and also fuller sailings across the rest of the fleet these days than there has been in recent years. I saw mixed reviews on the wearable Medallion and Princess app, with more complaints about crashes and reliability. It seems to me that recent cruisers feel Princess is drifting closer to the more mainstream category. And as the ships get bigger and the line tries to attract more younger couples and families, reviews and ratings suggest that Princess's traditional couples are seeing it in a less positive light these days. Next is MSC Cruises, down about 14%. Their ratings were already on the low side, around 3.2 out of 5, but they've slipped even further. MSC has always divided opinion more than any other line. Everyone agrees the new class of ships are stunning, like World Europa, Seashore, and so on, and these get constant praise for their design. But once on board, passengers say things just don't run smoothly, and that keeps dragging their ratings down even further. Chaotic, queues everywhere, and disorganized appear often in the reviews, for example. Another common theme is about how packed the ships are. Now, they target families with kids sell free fares, and they often sell well over capacity. As a result of that, I've experienced that firsthand many times. Food is another consistently sore point in the reviews, with words like inconsistent, lukewarm, and downgraded appearing often. Service and customer service especially is seen as hit and miss, often described as unhelpful, abrupt, or offhand. I see a lot of comments about this from cruisers on United States sailings, where passengers are definitely used to and expect kind of more attentive and friendly USA style service. One area though that still consistently scores well is the Yacht Club. This is MSC's ship within a ship enclave. It's rated for offering great value and a definitely more premium experience on their ships. My takeout from my analysis of the last couple of months is that while the new ships are seen as beautiful, the inconsistent service, packed ships and average food are dragging their ratings down despite the low attractive fares. The next cruise line that saw even greater declines, and one which did surprise me, was Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean ratings have dropped over 16%, significant for such a popular line. They're known for constant launches of innovative megaships with incredible entertainment, including aqua shows, Broadway shows, ice skating shows, and of course big features like flow riders, slides, zip lines. But the cracks are starting to show. Their older ships, of which there are many in the fleet, are increasingly dragging ratings down. Cruisers describe them as shabby, rundown, and past their prime. Many feel the line's attention and of course money are going only to building and launching the new ever bigger ships. When it comes to those new bigger ships, including Icon and Star of the Seas, while cruisers really like the ships, ratings are getting pulled down as these ships get very full and are leading to complaints like struggling to find lounges, long queues, and overworked crew. Royal Caribbean sailings, especially out of Florida, are focused on shorter sailings and are mostly sailing well over capacity, confirming, of course, that ships are fuller than ever these days than they have been before. Dining seems to be a little bit more hit and miss recently, although people don't complain a lot about dining, but repetitive menus and the food described as mass-produced is appearing more in the reviews. And like several other lines, I'm seeing Royal getting more complaints about nickel and diming, extra charges for things that people believe used to be included, and complaints about constant upselling for drinks, dining, Wi-Fi, and so on. Now, personally, I didn't find on board that this has changed dramatically, but of course, perception matters. And right now, the perception is that Royal is giving less and charging more. But Royal is still delivering great entertainment, has innovative feature-packed ships, but some of that signature wow factor does seem to be fading a little bit recently. But a close competitor line had an even bigger decline. Norwegian, which had over 20% decline in their ratings. If you followed Norwegian lately, that big drop may not shock you too much. They've made a series of controversial changes that have frustrated long-time guests and are likely affecting reviews and ratings. They now charge for extra entrees in the main dining room. They've stopped printing the daily program. They limit door decorations. There's a fee if you miss specially dining reservations. And cabin servicing was a while ago cut to once a day. Plus, they've also replaced some Broadway shows with cheaper in-house productions. What's the result of all this? Well, review after review saying everything that used to be included now costs extra. This is probably true to a degree, as Norwegian has always had a low entry fare with lots of optional add-ons, but cruisers seem to feel the balance has tipped just a little bit too far. I also saw many comment that menus are smaller, food quality more inconsistent, and specialty dining keeps getting pricier. Entertainment is these days called less exciting and less innovative than it used to be. As with the Royal Caribbean line, older ships are pulling down reviews and ratings here too. The older ships are seen as more run down, dated and tired, and the belief that the line is focusing and putting money into the new ships and neglecting the older ones here too. But the new ships are dividing cruisers too, dampening reviews. The new Prima class, Prima Viva and Aqua, has very different layout to other Norwegian ships. Now, personally, I really liked it and I like the decor, but many long-time Norwegian fans find the layout confusing and many of the venues just too small. Overall, reviewers these days are more likely to describe Norwegian as a cheapened version of the line that they loved. Too many cutbacks, too many changes, and not enough of that kind of freestyle fun that the brand built its name on. Now, the next line, which had the second greatest decline, absolutely shocked me that it made it onto this list at all. Disney Cruise Line had been one of the highest rated cruise lines and long considered almost untouchable. Disney ratings have dropped nearly 25%, starting from over 4 stars out of 5 down into the 3s. So what's gone wrong with Disney Cruise Line recently? It seems to be pretty simple. Guests are consistently saying that prices are up way too much and it's just not magical anymore, it's just expensive. In the reviews, this is very much the view of first-timers who expected very premium experiences worthy of the high price tag, but came away disappointed. I also noticed that loyal Disney fans talk much more about crowding than ever before, especially on those shorter Bahamas and Caribbean itineraries that the line runs many of. And especially on Disney Treasure, which is their newest ship at time of recording, it gets the most negative feedback on crowds. Now, this ship does carry quite a few more passengers than the others, which seems to be fueling this as well. Food quality has surprisingly taken a hit, with reviews mentioning bland, cold, and poorly presented meals. This is a big shift from previous times. There's also growing talk about nickel and diming. Though I'm not sure, based on my experience on board, that they have increased this. So perhaps because when cruisers feel they are already paying way too premium prices, any extra charges kind of stand out dramatically. People still praise the crew and the strong family focus, but there's a clear shift in tone. Good, not great, not worth the price, and not as magical before being said. Disney, of course, still has massive family appeal and offers a unique, immersive Disney experience, but it seems it is suffering these days as just not being seen as good value as it used to be. But there is a line suffering an even bigger decline in reviews and ratings than Disney. Carnival Cruise Line ratings have dropped over 25% in the last 6 months, but why has it eroded so fast? Like Norwegian, there's been public and growing backlash to recent changes that the line has made, especially the shift in their loyalty program, moving status from cumulative night sales linked now to annual spending with the cruise line. Now, many long-time guests feel penalized and they feel undervalued. Now, even if they're not actually leaving the line, I do wonder if that overall resentment could be a factor in this shift in reviews and ratings. Carnival has always positioned itself as fun, affordable cruising, but cruisers do seem to be saying that it's losing some of that balance. I'm seeing many reviews by long-time Carnival cruisers saying things like, "We've cruised Carnival for 20 years, the product has drastically declined." Most reviews go out of their way to still praise the crew, friendly, helpful, the best part of the cruise, but say that the problems are elsewhere. Food is a weak spot, it seems these days, with many reviewers using words like bland, repetitive, downgraded. Entertainment too is called scaled back and less varied, although I'm not aware that they have made big changes. There are frequent mentions of rowdy behavior, misbehaving kids running amok, drunken passengers, and a few of course talk about the occasional but well-reported fights amongst passengers. All of these things though damage the line's image and reputation, and it seems to be doing that these days. And like with Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, older ships seem to be dragging scores down too. Carnival has a very large fleet, 29 ships, some almost 30 years old and many 20 years old. And a lot of reviews describe the ships and cabins as worn, tatty, and past their best. Although reviews of the newer ships like Mardi Gras, Celebration and Jubilee are positive, older vessels definitely are pulling the ratings down. While cruisers seeking a good value, fun-filled cruise are still drawn to Carnival and their attractive prices, they seem to feel that things are not quite right recently, especially past loyal guests who are far more critical these days, probably because they're feeling undervalued by Carnival, perhaps. But are any lines actually getting better? Yes, there are a few bucking the trend and are improving their reviews and ratings right now. So join me over in this video where I reveal which lines cruisers say are on the rise, including one that I really didn't expect to see there. See you over there.